Hi friends, has it happened in your life that night before you sleep, you decide that tomorrow I want to do this and this and this, and you think of 8 to 10 things that you need to do the next day morning or during the next day, and somehow by evening you end up doing only a few of those because you get distracted and busy doing the other things, and then you remember some of the most important things that needed to be done were just left out. And that's how we get distracted and we don't focus on our goals. Now, what to do about this? I'm sure this must be happening with you many times, and that's what we are going to talk about in this video: how to master your day and boost up your productivity. What I'm going to describe to you is called the Ivy Lee method. Now, in 1918, a very rich businessman called Charles Schwab was one of the richest men in the world, and he was extremely competitive. He had a shipbuilding business and a steel making business, and they were one of the largest in the whole country. At that time, he wanted to increase the productivity of his team members, his executives, and himself. And so he got in touch with Ivy Lee, who was a very well known productivity consultant at that time. So in the meeting, he told Lee, "Can you teach me something that will increase our productivity tremendously?" Lee said, "Give me 15 minutes of time with your executives, and I can help them boost up their productivity with a simple technique." And he said, "How much will you charge me?" Lee said, "Well, nothing. You try that for 1 month, and after a month, you decide how much do you want to pay me, and you can pay me whatever you think is worth it." So here's the system which Lee gave. He said, before sleeping at night, write down the 5 to 6 most important things that you want to complete the next day in the order of priority. That means at number 1 should be the most important thing, number 2 should be the second important thing, and so on. Now, once you list down the things, go to sleep, and the next day morning when you get up, start working on number 1 and keep on reading number 1 for every 15 minutes till it is done. Once that job is done, then go to the second one, and then the third, and then so on and so forth. Now, the most important and the best part of this system is it is not necessary that you complete all the 5 to 6 things in a day. There is no pressure. You can do 2, you can do 3, you can do 4, or you can do all the 6. Now, suppose if you do only 4, that means you have 2 things left which are undone. So next day, while you're making the fresh list, incorporate those 2 things and 4 more in the order of priority, and then go on working on them. Now, what happens gradually if you do this? The key here is consistency. Now, if you keep on working on this system, what happens is you are working on the most important things in your life. So the topmost priorities will never be left out. What is left out are the least most important things, or the least important things which are not so important. Gradually and steadily, as your discipline muscles keep on working, a day will come when you will get motivated to complete most of the tasks during the day. When that happens, a day will come when all the 6 tasks will be completed, and you will think, can I take something from tomorrow to now? And that's when your productivity has increased. But the best part of the system is there is no stress. There is no pressure that you have to complete all the 6 in the same day, because of which you can work in a stress-free manner and be actually productive. That's how the system works. Now, after the system was introduced to the executives of Charles Schwab, and they worked in for a month, at the end of the month, Charles Schwab called Lee and gave him a check of 25,000 US dollars in 1918. So if it's today, it'll be 5 lakh US dollars. So think about it. In terms of Indian rupees, it'll be almost something around 50 lakh rupees for this simple lesson. Now, I'm sharing with you a method which Charles Schwab paid 50 lakhs for. So I think it's worth trying. If you have liked the video, please start working on the system from today. And I think it's going to work for you. We teach the system in our programs, and we have made a diary for each of the participants, and we give them this system and they work on it. Definitely it increases their productivity.